Hello students, in this video you are going to learn about one very important topic in the rook endgame, that is activity of the rook, active rook versus passive rook. In the rook endgame you have to follow just one golden principle, and that is activate your rook and keep it active. If your rook is active, then you will have the advantage in the rook endgame. So let's understand the difference between the active rook and the passive rook clearly. In this position, we are white and it is white to move, so white can immediately play rook to d1. And now in this simple position, you can see that our rook is on the open file and black's rook is on the closed file. So even in this simple position, you can see that white's rook is more active than the black's rook, and white's rook is threatening to go to d7 square. Once the rook reaches the 7th rank, it will attack the c7 pawn, and black does not have a good way to defend it. So black immediately plays rook c8 to defend the c7 pawn, and white plays rook d7. Now you can see that this rook is active and black's rook is passive. Our rook is attacking the pawn and black's rook is defending the pawn. So if you have an active rook, it means you have the advantage in the rook endgame. Black plays pawn to h5 and white plays pawn to f4. White wants to bring his king toward the center. Black plays king f8. Black wants to play king e8 and kick away this knight. White plays king f2, but black realizes that king e8 is not a good idea, because then white will play rook g7 and white will win this pawn. So black cannot play king e8. And if black tries to push these pawns forward and then activate his rook, it also not going to work. Let's say after a5, you play king e3, black plays b5, you play e5. After f5, you play rook h7. You are threatening this skewer. So black stops it. And now you play rook e7. In the next move, you are going to win this pawn. So again, black is lost here. That's why black has to wait passively. Black does not have any choice. So he goes king g8. And now instead of winning this pawn, if you want, you can win this pawn. You can play rook e7. Black will play king f8. You can win this pawn. Then black will play king to f7. After pawn to f5, black can play rook d8. Right now, this rook is active and our rook is not doing much. Our rook cannot go to any square. Cannot go here, here, here. All of these squares are covered. So our rook is passive and opponent's rook is active. This is not a good situation for us. That's why we want to avoid this position. So instead of capturing the e6 pawn, first we play king e3. We simply centralize our king. Black plays king f8 and now we continue with e5. Black plays f cross e5, f cross e5. Black plays a6. And now we want to play king to g5 to attack the g6 pawn. So we go king f4. Black plays b6 and we go king g5. Black plays c5. Finally, black has managed to free his rook. Now his rook is free to move. But unfortunately, now it's too late. We play king cross g6. We are also attacking this pawn, so black plays h4. Now we go king f6. And it is impossible to defend this pawn. If black plays rook e8, then you simply play rook d6. You are threatening this pawn, you are threatening these pawns, so black is going to lose material. And both of black pieces are passive. So white is easily winning in this position. Now let's look at another example where you will clearly see the difference between the active rook and the passive rook. In this position, we are white. Our rook is on c7. Our rook is active and it is attacking the c6 pawn. And now black's rook is passive. Black's rook is guarding the c6 pawn. So the player who has the active rook will have the advantage in the rook endgame. So right now we have the advantage. So white here plays king to g3. You will see why white played king g3. Black played king f8. Because black's king is trapped below the 7th rank, so black wants to play rook e7 and free his king. And now white plays pawn to f5. White temporarily sacrifices a pawn. And the reason is, after g cross f5, white will play king f4. White is going to regain the pawn. And once the pawn has been regained, your king will be on f5 and king will be active. That's why white sacrificed a pawn in the previous move. And now if black waits passively, black says king e8, then you can just simply play king cross f5. You are attacking this rook, and once the rook moves, you can capture the c6 pawn also. That's why here black decided to play rook e7. Black wants to activate his king. And now we are going to win this pawn. Finally, we have managed to capture the weak c6 pawn. Black has a passed pawn, but he cannot push the pawn right away. If he plays h4, then you simply play rook s6 and you will capture this pawn also. So here black plays rook h7. And now he is ready to push his pawns. But we play rook c8 check, king g7, rook check, king g6, and we exchange the rooks. And now you simply play pawn to c6. In the next move, you will play c7, then you will play c8 and make a queen. So white is completely winning here. And the reason why white won this position so easily is because you had an active rook. White's rook was active and black's rook was passive. White's rook was attacking the weakness, black's rook was defending the weakness. That's why you managed to win this position so easily. So in the rook endgame, remember this one simple principle. Activate your rook and keep it active. Make sure that even if it requires you to sacrifice a pawn, you sacrifice a pawn, but make sure that your rook stays active in the rook endgame. That's it for this lesson.